He, the only lefty still available to Cito Gaston. Mike Timlin and Mark Eichhorn have not appeared out of the bullpen for Toronto tonight.
Atlanta, on the other hand, has Jeff Reardon, John Smoltz, Marvin Freeman, Tommy Glavine scheduled for tomorrow night. They also have David Need, the young right-hander, who has not appeared in any game yet.
He would probably be the last resort for Bobby Cox. Need a rookie and a late addition to the World Series roster. Tabler 5 for 14 lifetime against Lieberman, including a home run. Gruber back to first. And Ed Sprague is moved into the on-deck circle. The pitcher is due up next. That's why they got Key up in a hurry. And as we mentioned a moment ago, Pendleton, Justice, and Bream, the scheduled trio of Braves swingers in the bottom of the 10th. Lee Brandt to the plate with the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Lee Brandt has it. On to the bottom of the 10th. 2-2 the score. The Atlanta Braves scored a run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game at 2 and force extra innings. That run in the 9th by the Braves ended the Blue Jays bullpen record streak of 15 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. That is a record for World Series play by a bullpen, but it ended with the Blue Jays 1 strike away from the World Championship. Pendleton, Justice, and Bream due up. Justice and Bream, left-handed hitters. Pendleton, a switch hitter. Jimmy Key warming up in the bullpen. He's a left-hander.
Pendleton, one of 7 switch hitters in the lineups tonight, and that is a World Series record. Never have so many switch hitters appeared in a World Series game.
Well, a number of records have been set in this series, and the way it's going, there'll probably be at least 1 or 2 more before we're finished.
Yeah.
Tom Henke, victimized for the game-tying run, facing Pendleton. He's 1 for 3 with a first-inning single. He had a sacrifice fly for an RBI in the 3rd. He's struck out twice since then. Strike on the outside corner. One and one on Pendleton. Alfredo Griffin is the new shortstop for Toronto as they hit for Manuel Lee in the top of the 10th. Pendleton started to pull the trigger and laid off. The pitch low and in. 2 balls and a strike. And the Blue Jays are guarding the line. It didn't pay off when Jeff Blauser bounced the leadoff single through last inning and scored the tying run. It pays off this time as Carter was perfectly positioned for Pendleton. 1 out in the bottom of the 10th.
There's Joe Carter in your picture, and he makes a relatively easy play on the Pendleton high chopper, and that looks like it's going to be all for Tom Henke.
It will indeed. Jimmy Key trots in to become the new Toronto hurler. We'll return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after this word from your local station.
2 right-handed pitchers are left for Toronto. Mike Timlin and Mark Eichhorn. Of course, Jack Morris pitched 2 nights ago in an emergency, I would imagine Cito Gaston could call on Morris. Jimmy Key 1-0. He won game 4 up in Toronto.
He called it his proudest moment as a member of the Blue Jays. Now he has perhaps a chance to be on the mound when they win their first World Championship. He was emotional when he came out of that ball game after 7 2/3 innings, tipping his cap because he said he realized that it was probably going to be his last outing in a Toronto uniform. He's another free agent at the end of the year.
Tell you, statistically, you might question this move because David Justice, unusually, is a much better career hitter against left-handers than he is right-handers.
49 points better. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. Justice 0 for 3 tonight with a walk in the 8th inning off Dwayne Ward. He'll be followed by Sid Bream. 2-2 the score. 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 10th. Check swing and a foul to the Toronto dugout. Key quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. Bounce down the line and foul. Jimmy Key scheduled to lead off the next inning. Cito Gaston did not make a double switch.
Now you could have brought in John Olerud, moved Carter to left field and taken Maldonado out of there and allowed Key to hit in the number 6 spot. Number 5 spot for Maldonado.
Would have made him a 6th batter at the next inning. 1-2 now on Justice. Through Key, but Griffin is playing him perfectly. The shift pays off for Toronto. The shortstop on the right side of the infield. The ball came right to Alfredo Griffin for the 2nd out of the 10th.
Actually, Griffin was shielded from that ball. He took 1 step to his left and then he went back to his right. The ball right back through Jimmy Key, and Alfredo makes the play.
Sid Bream 0 for 2 tonight with 2 fly balls to left. He has also hit twice. Jimmy Key was murder on lefties during the regular season. He held them to a 176 batting average and only 2 home runs. Only Mark Langston fared better against left-handed hitters among all left-handed starters in baseball. Chopped down to first, Carter flips to Key, and the Braves go in order in the bottom of the 10th. We had the 11th. The Blue Jays coming up in a 2-2 ball game. Welcome back to Game 6 of the 1992 World Series from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. 2-2 the score. The Atlanta Braves tied the score on a base hit by Otis Nixon with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. That brought Jeff Blauser in from second. Nixon has said several times that he thinks he is enjoying this postseason more than anybody else participating because he was not able to take part in the postseason a year ago, serving a drug suspension.
How about this? Jimmy Key's going to hit for himself. So it looks like Cito Gaston has determined that Jimmy Key, for the most part, is the starting pitcher in this role. At least until the next time the pitcher hits.
Key, then the top of the order, Devon White and Roberto Alomar against Charlie Leibrandt, who's pitched 1 scoreless inning. He allowed 1 hit in the 10th. This is the first major league at bat for Jimmy Key. He's been in the majors since 1984.
The last time a relief pitcher, and that's what Key is tonight, hit this late in the game in this ballpark, Rick Aguilera made the last out last year in the 12th inning with the bases loaded. Aguilera, the stopper for the Minnesota Twins.
Jimmy Key was an outstanding hitter in college at Clemson. His first team All-ACC player as a pitcher and as a DH.
Asking a lot of him, though, wouldn't you say?
Might be a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
Hasn't been in college since 1982. He had a career 300 average for the Clemson Tigers. A pop-up, Bream. Jimmy probably had some batting practice yesterday. The Toronto pitchers did hit during the workout, and the man who threw batting practice to them was the general manager, Pat Gillick, the former minor league pitcher. That was very sore when we saw him in the clubhouse before the game today. There's Pat, the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. Peter Widrington on the left, chairman of the board. Devon White, the hitter. 0-1 on White. He's 2 for 5 tonight, singles in the first and fourth innings. He scored a run way back in the first. Lee Brandt misses up and in. 1-1.
That was for effect. Rarely does Charlie Lee Brandt come inside to a right-hander, especially in a game situation, when he intentionally throws a strike inside. He'll go back outside to White.
Lee Brandt ahead of White, 1-2. With 1 out in the 11th inning. 2-2 the score. Roberto Alomar is on deck. They hit him. The crowd thought John Shulock was calling him out on strikes. Instead, he was indicating that the ball brushed Devon White, and he has first base with 1 out.
Lee Brandt coming inside just a little bit too much, and it hits the left thigh of Devon White. White not trying to get out of the way, but he tried enough, in the opinion of John Shulock. The ball just hitting his left thigh.
He's at first and a threat to run with Roberto Alomar up. Lee Brandt goes to first. Devon White stole his first stolen base of the World Series back in the first inning. It set up the run he scored in the first. Alomar 2 for 5. The Blue Jays have, I'm sorry, Tim, the Blue Jays have had a hit in every inning tonight except this, the 11th.
Going to say Lee Brandt has 16 pickoffs on the year. 16. An excellent move to first base. 12 pickoffs last year.
He goes over to first again. Matter of fact, the Toronto Blue Jays have had exactly 1 hit in every inning prior to the 11th, except the 4th, in which they had 3 hits. There's Terry Mulholland of Philadelphia. Alomar squared the bunt and took the first pitch to him from Lee Brandt low for ball 1.
That was a show-me bunt right there. No way is Alomar bunting with 1 out and White at first base. Maybe a hit and run here. If you're the runner at first base in a hit and run situation, you have to make sure the pitcher pitches. The responsibility is on the hitter to make contact.
Lee Brandt will again go to first to hold White close. To the plate and lined into center field to hit. White to second, and he'll stop there. Roberto Alomar with 3 hits tonight. He started the night with only 2 hits in this series. First and second and 1 out for Toronto in the 11th.
Alomar waits on the changeup. He gets it and delivers. I don't think there is any way that Bobby Cox is going to allow Leibrandt to face Joe Carter. Jeff Reardon is warm in the bullpen. Tough decision right here.
Made particularly tough by Reardon's failures in this series.
Well, if you're not going to bring Reardon in this situation, why is he warming up?
That's the question that I was going to pose to you. Joe Carter will face Leibrandt. 1 strike on Carter, who has 2 hits tonight, a pair of doubles. Outstanding speed on the base pass for the Blue Jays. Devon White at second, Roberto Alomar at first, and 1 out. Joe Carter had a sacrifice fly back in the first inning. That was nearly 4 hours ago. Leibrandt nearly threw it into center field. Belliard had to leap to field it and reach over the head of Devon White at the same time. It was an awkward twist toward second by Charlie Leibrandt.
By the time he turns, he sees that White is there, and Belliard has his left arm serving as a necklace for Devon White.
The 0-1 to Carter. Blowing in 1 ball and 1 strike. In his career against Charlie Leibrandt, Joe Carter is a .275 hitter, 11 for 40. He has never hit a home run off Charlie Leibrandt. Well hit, but well fouled.
Marvin Freeman, Reardon, Need. One would think that they would go to those 3 right-handers before Smoltz gets a call.
Only Reardon throwing at the moment, and he's ready. Bobby Cox has made the decision to stick with the lefty Leibrandt to face Carter. The runners take off. Carter lifts one to center, not deep. Devon White jogs back to second as Nixon makes the catch for the second out. We're in the 11th, 2-2 the score. Bobby Cox has Jeff Blauser, Damon Berryhill, and Rafael Belliard scheduled to bat in the bottom of the 11th inning. Bobby Cox aware of all the stats, and he knows that Dave Winfield is a .302 lifetime hitter against Charlie Leibrandt, including 4 home runs and 53 at-bats against Leibrandt. Tonight, Winfield's 0 for 4 with a first inning walk, and now he's 4 for 21 in the series.
Winfield, a very good off-speed hitter. Can understand why Winfield hits Leibrandt well. Leibrandt is not a hard thrower. He relies on his changeup, Winfield will get either the fastball or the changeup. Leibrandt does have a curveball, but you don't want to throw anything but your best in this situation.
Changeup for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Leibrandt looked White back towards second. Belliard wasn't very close to the bag. Dave Winfield has only driven in 1 run in this series as he tries to erase the painful memories of his only previous World Series experience in 1981. All the bad memories would go away with a hit right here. In the dirt, blocked by Berryhill. 2 balls and a strike.
Winfield with runners in scoring position, 1 for 7. He's 0 for 3 tonight. And you mentioned Winfield trying to erase past World Series. That's what Charlie Leibrandt's trying to do too.
Winfield has ended 3 innings tonight with the hit by Alomar here in the 11th. The Blue Jays have had at least 1 hit in every inning. They have 13 hits in all. But they've left 12 men on base, had a runner thrown out of the plate, and hit into a double play. And now Leibrandt is even with Winfield at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Fastball slicing the corner. Right there.
Two the score with 2 men on, 2 outs, and a count of 2-2. In the 11th inning of Game 6 of the World Series. 2-2 pitch. Just missed, blowing away, and the count is full. And now the runners will get the jump with the 3-2 pitch upcoming and 2 outs. The runners go on the 3-2 to Winfield. Down the line, a base hit. Into the left field corner. White has scored. Alomar comes around. The ball gets away from Gant. It's a 2-run double for Dave Winfield. And a 4-2 Toronto lead.
This is the first extra base hit of the World Series ever for Dave Winfield. Boy, did he save the right time to get it. Toronto up by 2.
Winfield had come to the plate 44 times in World Series play without an extra base hit before that one. A 2-run double driving into Von White and Roberto Alomar, and the Blue Jays are ahead again 4-2. The base hit by Winfield, the 14th Blue Jay hit of the night. He's in scoring position for Candy Maldonado.
And we might add that that is exactly what Winfield hit. He hit a changeup, the off-speed pitch. We talked about his prowess with the straight change. Leibrandt had to go to his strength, but Winfield was stronger.
For the second year in a row, Game 6 agony for Charlie Leibrandt. certainly Bobby Cox's decision to stick with Lee Brandt to face Carter, Winfield, and now Maldonado is a clear indication that he is a little bit gun-shy about using Reardon.
Yep.
Given Reardon's problems earlier in the series.
Jeff Reardon gave up 2 hits, and both were game winners.
Those hits, the game-winning home run by Sprague, the 2-run homer in Game 2 that gave Toronto the 5-4 win. And the hit in Game 3 by Maldonado, the man at the plate now, in the 9th inning, with the bases loaded and 1 out. It gave Toronto the 3-2 win in that ballgame. The 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Rafael Belliard on the outfield grass. Ends the inning. But the Blue Jays get 2 huge runs on Dave Winfield's first ever extra base hit in the World Series. They're 3 outs away again, and we'll return after this word from your local station. We'll need 2 to keep it alive in the bottom of the 11th. They're ready in Toronto to have the biggest party that city has ever seen. A lot of the Braves were irritated when in Thursday morning's paper the Blue Jays celebratory parade route was printed in the newspaper. They might bring those parade plans back out of the drawer again. Not much left on the bench for Bobby Cox. Brian Hunter and Javier Lopez. They are right-handed hitters, and that's it.
Remember, again, 10 days ago, the Braves trailed by 2 in that bottom of the 9th inning. And it was Jeff Blauser who scored the tying run in the 9th inning tonight.
Jimmy Key with a chance to earn his 2nd win of the series, and who would have thought that when this ball game began? Facing Jeff Blauser. Line to left. Here we go again. Blauser started the 9th with a base hit and scored the game-tying run. He starts the 11th with a base hit. That'll bring the tying run to the plate.
So Blauser starts it off again. Talk about an uphill battle. Damon Berryhill is not a strong hitter from the right side of the plate. Rafael Belliard is on deck. He is not a strong offensive hitter. But if Berryhill can get on, then Belliard will be allowed to butt him over.
Up the middle. Bad hop, and Griffin couldn't glove it. Blauser continues to third. He'll get there without a throw. Had he fielded it, it was a perfect double play ball with Berryhill running, but it bounced up at the last moment. Griffin couldn't handle it. Now the tying run is aboard at first base. John Smoltz running for Damon Berryhill with nobody out.
The ball came up on Griffin. Watch how it scoots along, and right there it comes up and hit him in the thumb of the glove. It's going to be an error, but it was a tough hop. Blauser goes to third on the play. And Belliard, I would imagine, will still be bunting because only the runner at first matters.
It is an error charged to Griffin, the first Toronto error of the night. Rafael Belliard with his first at bat in this World Series. Appearing in his 4th game prior to tonight, he has come in for defense. He does bunt toward first, and it's a foul ball.
If you remember in that NLCS Game 7, 9th inning, Jose Leaned, the sure-handed second baseman of the Pirates, made an error that led to a run when the Braves scored 3 times in the bottom of the 9th to win it.
Belliard hit just .211 during the regular season. He squares the bunt again. This time it's in play. The runner holds at third. Key to Alomar covering for the first down. But now the tying run is in scoring position. Blauser still at third. Smoltz has moved up to second.
And a nice bunt by Belliard. Jimmy Key thought about second. You could see him looking at second base. And now he goes to first.
Brian Hunter, hitting .250 in the World Series. He's 1 for 4. His one hit a single. He drove in a run with a sacrifice fly earlier in this series. The Blue Jays lead 4-2. 1 out, 2 men in scoring position in the bottom of the 11th. And Borders out to the mound to discuss the strategy with Hunter, who's dangerous, particularly against left-handed pitching. He hit 12 of his 14 home runs during the regular season off lefties, and Hunter averaged a home run every 13 times up against left-handed pitching in the regular season.
Yeah, he only started against right-handed pitchers 8 times this year. You can see he is much better against left-handers, 90 points better this year. But I guess Cito Gaston is going with the experience of Jimmy Key.
Key's first pitch, a ball to Hunter. Hunter was 1 for 3 against Jimmy Key in Game 4. That one hit was a bunt single. Off the end of the bat, down to first. Carter makes the play for the second out. A run scores. It's 4-3 Toronto. And now the tying run is at third base. But the Braves are again down to their final out. And again, it will be Otis Nixon, who singled with 2 outs and 2 strikes to count in the bottom of the 9th to drive in the game tying run. It was Jeff Blauser who made it 2-2, and we went to extra innings.
And Cito Gaston wants to talk to Jimmy Key. It is doubtful that he will take him out of the game. I think he wants to remind the corners, Joe Carter and Kelly Gruber and Jimmy Key, the pitcher, that Nixon will bunt. That's what makes Nixon, as a batter, with a runner on third and 2 outs, most dangerous because of the possibility of the bunt or the infield hit. John Smoltz represents the tying run. Well, we're going to go to the right-hander.
Mike Timlin will be the new pitcher for Toronto when we come back.
1 inning in Game 5. That was the 7th inning, if you remember. And what pressure on this young man just to get 1 out. Jimmy Key was taken out of the game, we think, because Otis Nixon is a much better hitter against left-handed pitching. Mike Timlin will be pitching to Nixon, and interestingly, Nixon got the hit to tie the game in the 9th inning from the left side. And there they are, the numbers for Otis Nixon.
So that's why they brought Timlin in to switch Nixon around.
A lot of things run through a manager's mind here. Otis Nixon, as a left-handed batter, gets down to first a lot quicker than he does from the right side. He's a better bunter as a left-handed batter. If the ball is hit to an infielder, they better hurry.
Nixon 2 for 5 tonight, including the RBI single, with 2 outs and a count of 0-2 in the bottom of the 9th that drove in Jeff Blauser to make it 2-2. Mike Timlin saved only 1 game this year. He has only 4 major league saves. Now he's on to save the biggest win in Toronto Blue Jay history, with a tying run at third and 2 down in the bottom of the 11th. 4-3 Blue Jays. John Smoltz, the pinch runner at third. Timlin. Nixon bunts. Timlin on it. Throws to first. For the first time in history, the World Championship banner will fly north of the border. The Toronto Blue Jays are baseball's best in 1992. Dave Winfield, the game-winning hit. Jimmy Key, the winning pitcher. Mike Temlin, the save. How unlikely was that final pitching scenario? All 4 wins in this World Series for Toronto by 1 run, including Game 6, 4-3, the final in 11. In only their 16th year as a Major League franchise, the Toronto Blue Jays have won the World Championship. Oh, Canada. What a series. We'll be back in just a moment.
This was the final out of the 1992 World Series, a little before 1 o'clock Eastern time, as Joe Carter and the Toronto Blue Jays make history, the first Canadian team to win a World Series. And really, countries don't matter right now. They're up and down all over the place, screaming for joy. And I'm sure the good folks up at Skydome, who have suffered so many years of frustration, shall we say, with this franchise, are going crazy as they are inside the Toronto Blue Jays locker room right now. And down somewhere in there is Jim Cott. Jim?
We're right here, Pat. And yes, a jubilant Toronto dressing room. And for the last time, Dr. Bobby Brown will present a World Championship trophy with 26 flags. Next year it'll have 28, and he'll present it to Paul Beeston, the president of the Toronto Blue Jays, and a happy Cito Gaston. Dr. Brown.
Paul, congratulations on behalf of Major League Baseball. I want to present you and Cito this World Championship trophy. It's a great win for you, for Cito, and for the Blue Jays. And I can only say this, the Braves are one tough team. Congratulations to both of you.
Paul Beeston, your thoughts, you've been in this locker room since about the 8th inning, waiting for this to happen, and it is finally happened to the Toronto Blue Jays. Your thoughts right now, and congratulations also.
My thoughts, Jimmy, you know what my thoughts are. My thoughts are for the guys in this clubhouse. My thoughts are for the organization. My thoughts are for the fans of Toronto. 45,000 people sitting there tonight watching the game on the Skydome, the Sky Vision. I mean, like, it's outstanding. I mean, this is really a tremendous evening for everybody in the organization, but most importantly for Cito. He brought the team here. It's his. I pass it on to him. Cito, congratulations.
All right, Cito, you said when you won the American League Championship Series, you didn't know if you'd be able to speak. Can you give us a word right now?
Well, maybe a couple of words. It's been a long, hard battle, but as I said, opening day, these guys have been focused since opening day, and if I could open my shirt, you would see it says 3 for 3. All right. And we did it. Thank you.
3 for 3 in 92. The Blue Jays won the East. They won the American League Championship Series, and they won the World Championship. We'll be back in the Toronto Blue Jays locker room right after this. Let's go to Tim McCarver.
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. The unenviable task of interviewing Bobby Cox for the 2nd straight year. And, Bobby, you had a terrific year, but it's kind of hard to think about that, I would imagine, right now.
Well, we had a great year, and the guys played awfully good and awfully hard, and could have won this series with a few breaks here and there, I think. And, it was a series of great pitching, and Ronnie Gant just missed that one fly ball with runners at second and third, and we had 2 balls up on the wall tonight that they ran down with men on. So, you know, it was one of those things, and, you know, they're a good ball club, and they deserve it.
Were there any thoughts of removing Charlie Leibrandt in the 11th inning with runners on at first and second? You had Jeff Reardon warming up.
We had Jeff warming up, but Charlie's really effective against right-handers, and, you know, he did a good job against him, and he gave up a ground ball. You can't fault anybody for giving up a ground ball base hit.
Well, Bobby, you had a terrific year, and we're going to take you right back to Pat O'Brien right now.
All right, Tim, thank you. Classy guy, Bobby Cox. They did have a good year, but not good enough. The Toronto Blue Jays are the World Series champion for 1992. As you look at a live picture of their early morning locker room scene here, as they are celebrating the awarding of that trophy. The top flag on that trophy, by the way, they're arranged in alphabetical order, is the Toronto Blue Jays flag. We'll be back after a word from your local station. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the scene in Skydome in Toronto, and the good folks up in Canada have embraced this series. As you might imagine, they are now World Series champions, and I'm sure all up and down University Avenue tonight, the horns will be honking, and they are doing the tomahawk chop in the Toronto Blue Jays locker room for whatever reason. Jim Cott's down there with some of the boys. Let's go down to Jim.
Well, they're doing the tomahawk chop, hugs, kisses, a little of the bubbly, and just about everything you could expect of a world championship team, and no one has waited longer than this man, Dave Winfield. What a timely first extra base hit in World Series history.
I'm telling you, the oldest man in the room, the guy who took the longest to get a World Series championship, but there's not a person that's happier than me.
Well, we were standing here during commercial. You said over and over, you cannot imagine the feeling this is.
It's tremendous. I worked a long time, worked very hard this year. Even told him at the first year I'm going to bring my glove. I was able to play the outfield. I didn't do a whole lot, but I did something at the right time. I'm playing with the best team that I've ever played for in this game.
And a great teammate right next to you, Joe Carter. Just a quick word from Joe before we talk to Mike Timlin, who made the game-ending play and saved the game. Worth the hard work and all the time in spring training, and even a little bit of drama before you finally clinched it.
Well, we did. We had a lot of drama out there. But first, I want to give honor to God. He's been on our side the whole year, and we thank Him for that. What He's given us this year, and you know, this is very exciting, Jim. You know, we battled all through the whole year. Milwaukee gave us a hard time. Baltimore, we never lost more than 2 games in a row since the end of August. And this team came back and showed what they made of. The Braves, you know, they came out. They wouldn't give us any time off. They kept putting pressure on us, but
all right,
came out on top.
We'll let you celebrate. Go get him. Joe Carter. Mike Timlin saved the game and made a terrific play on Otis Nixon's bunt. A little bit of a surprise when he did that?
Yeah, Joe Carter said he might bunt. So, you know, I threw in the next pitch, and I saw him square around, and I was hoping it'd come right to me, but, you know, I had to move a little bit.
Now, I mean, you're just like a second, third-year player, and you come into a situation like that. What is going through your – how fast is your heart beating? That's some pressure.
I had to go all the way back down to Dunedin in the A-ball when I was a stopper down there, and, you know, I did that constantly, and I just tried to think of it, you know, as a, you know, single-A game, and, you know, of course we had borders behind the plate, but it changes everything. But, you know, I just try to make myself relax and throw strikes.